Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Appreciate you tuning in once again. So tonight we're gonna do a little talk, a little chit chat. I'll do all the talking. You guys sit back and pay attention, listen, or whatever. So this is on model kits, on how we go about, how we pick them out. Why do we build them? What's our inspiration? Is there such a thing? Yes, I believe there is. We get our inspiration from somewhere. Something along the lines of something we did as kids. You know, what makes us build them? You know, why do we build the kits we build? So I was watching some of your channels. So Matthew at Model Car Videos, he kind of got the ball rolling on this, and he put that question out there, like, you know, you guys build these kits, why you build them? And so he got the ball rolling on this subject, and it's a very interesting topic. You know, just it's very interesting. And I was watching Jason on Blue Ox Models, and you know, he was saying, hey guys, you know, let me know on this, on the subject, and make a video on it. And I thought, you know what, Jason, that's a fantastic idea. And Jason, I really like your logo. I like that new logo you got going up the screen in your intro. Very cool, my friend. I like the looks of that. So I was watching some other videos about this topic. I was watching Sodak Models with Adam. That's a cool name also, man. I think that's really cool. I liked your story on that. That was pretty neat. I was watching Kim's Customs. You know, and he's over from Denmark, you know, across the pond there. So it's kind of interesting hearing stories from that end of it too. And I was watching, who else was it? The bearded one, the bearded guy. He had a pretty good story. So I watched a few stories out there, and I just thought it's just unique and interesting on the different takes on everybody's view on this, you know. Like I say, very good topic, very good subject. I mean, I think people could talk about it for a long time. Backpedaling on it, for me, it was my dad. My dad got us into it. He built models all the time as we grew up. There's always models around somewhere. There's in our living room, those shelves full of models. I put a video up a long time ago with my dad's old model kits. Those were always in the house on display in the living room, and we had these things over top the windows and whatnot. And my dad was in the service, so he was in the Air Force. He was an MP, and he would guard some of the planes or whatever. And so some of the planes I remember him talking about, and he had some of these kits, was like the Hercules C-130. He had, I remember always talking about, and I think this one of his favorite planes was the B-52 bomber. And I know there's a bunch of black and white photos around here from when he was out on the tarmac watching or whatever. And the other one was B-58 Hustler, I believe it was. And I actually have a service manual here. I don't know, he must have brought one home with him. It's a hardcover book. It's a repair manual. It shows you how to take this whole plane apart and everything. It shows you it's a pretty neat book. I'll have to dig out one day. But anyways, he was always building model kits when we were little, and that was a big inspiration for me. Big time inspiration. So he would also do the balsa wood plane kits. You guys remember the balsa plane kits? I mean, the balsa wood models. You know, they come with the big instruction sheet, and you know, you got the big pack of balsa wood, and you have to line them all up, put the pins on it, and glue it together. You guys thought model glue smelled good. That balsa wood glue, that's got quite a different flavor to that one. So anyways, it was kind of funny. He used to tell a story when they were kids, him and his brother, my uncle. They would finish building their kit, and they'd take them out and they'd light them on fire and fly them. I thought, that's sweet. I thought, that's awesome. I would have never thought of doing that. I thought, oh, cool. I mean, the things you do to entertain yourself, right? So it was always on for my brother and I. So we'd build these balsa wood planes, and we'd try to get them together like, oh yeah, we're going to get them done. We're going to light them on fire like Dad did, and we're going to fly them around. Yeah, right. I never got mine finished. I built a Cessna, and I got all done, and I mean, it didn't fly very well. I think my brother finished one. His flew pretty good. But we built a few of them, but just never finished them, those type of things. Always built them over the winter or whatnot. But like I say, my dad was always building kits. And the last kit my dad built, like I say, because he was in the Air Force, is he built this B-52. So it doesn't look like much at this point. It's pretty rough looking. Okay, yeah, it's like really rough looking, especially all the fly crap on it. It's pretty nostalgic. So this is going to be a rebuilder for me. This was a kit that my dad built years ago, and this kit here for me was a game changer. This was my game changer modeling outlook completely because it was painted. We never painted our models when I was growing up. We always had the tester jars, you know, and all that good stuff. We painted the interiors and some of the engine bays and whatnot, but never really painted the bodies. So my dad bought this kit a long time ago, and this used to hang in our house, in the den kind of, and it fell years ago. And of course, it was so old at the time, it just fell apart like nothing. So the parts really didn't break. I have everything here for this kit sitting in a box, and one day I'm going to put this back together, get all cleaned up. But anyways, it's kind of odd. He never painted the whole thing. The fuselage isn't painted. This is still the gray styrene, but the white is painted, and the white up top, and he painted the black in those. But like I say, this here was my game changer because I watched him paint this, and I thought, my gosh, that turned out so cool. I just unbelievable. Like I say, it was a unique thing for me to see. So from that point on, every model kit I did, I painted it. It got painted. And you know, I honed my skills, and I was painting everything. I mean, everything got painted. So I was working on kit after kit, you know, painting them all up, and heck, I was in the one time I painted the cat. So it was a funny story. I was painting a model kit in my room one day, and this cat kept coming up there. We had this cat in the house, and I was doing a kit, and I thought, come on, cat, go away. You know, they're rubbing across your leg and stuff, and I thought, I don't want to get hair or something in the model. So he wouldn't leave me alone. So I took the spray can. I had a Tester's blue paint can, and I took the cat, and I sprayed him from head to tail. Put a nice streak on. We called him Blue Streak for the longest time. And so the cat ran out of the room. He didn't like that very well. And he went downstairs, and I thought, crap, Mom, Dad's downstairs watching TV at this old 2-story farmhouse, you know. And I could hear my dad down there like, hey, who painted the cat? And I thought, well, you know, I did. You bought the paint. I mean, you know, so it's kind of funny because it's just one of those things that, you know, my brother and I, we always told the story like, hey, remember time Craig painted the cat, you know? Like I said, I was painting everything. So that was just a big game changer for me, was seeing that model getting painted. So like I say, doing models with my dad, that was always just the coolest thing. I lost my dad back in 2000 from emphysema. And I was in my early 20s when he passed away. So I was pretty close to him. And just like say, the model thing he got us into it, along with the model railroad stuff. And that's kind of why I'm building that diorama, you know, which, man, I really need to get back on that. It's just been sitting there. But, you know, and there's just a lot of childhood memories there for that. You know, not just because my dad worked. I mean, we'd hang out there all the time after school and whatnot. So a lot of this model building for me is memory tie, like just old memories and stuff. And that's not why I do it. I actually just enjoy building models in general. You know, I actually love doing them. So back in the day, we'd go visit my grandma, and they lived in Marlette, Michigan. And my mom and dad, they'd go and visit sometimes, so we'd bug them for money. And it was kind of cool. Back in the day, you didn't have to go to a hobby shop to buy model kits. You could go to any mom and pop five and dime stores. Almost everybody sold model kits. They were like everywhere. We used to have this Ben Franklin in Marlette. You guys remember the old Ben Franklin stores? So we would walk down there while they were in visiting, and it was like 3 or 4 blocks uptown from their house. And we'd go in and buy these kits and whatnot, and they had like everything in there. It wasn't just a few things. It was like an aisle. I mean, just a huge aisle full of model kits. And they even had this Ace Hardware crossroad. I remember they had model kits. They even sold model railroad stuff. They had Ace Hardware. It was just anywhere you went, they had model kits. And my brother and I, we'd always, like say, we'd go in and get one. And I always remember looking at it like, man, Kurt, that's a pretty cool kit. And I thought, man, I should have got that kit. But I thought, you know what? Wouldn't have been too cool if both of us got the same kit. That'd been kind of dumb, you know. So he got his kit, I got my kit. Like I say, he doesn't build models anymore, but some of those models he had, those are my to buy models. I mean, some of them that he had were just really cool. So that's how some of the inspiration I get, some of the models I go to the hobby shops, but not that I'm like specifically looking for that kit. It's just if I see it, it'll bring that memory to me, like, oh yeah, we had that when I was a kid. I gotta get that. And same as in Sandusky, Michigan, not Ohio, in Michigan, they had a Big Wheel store. Remember the Big Wheel store back in the day? It's kind of like a mini Kmart without the blue light special, you know. Anyways, they had model section, and I used to go there and buy. I bought a 82, 83 Trans Am MPC kit. It was a 1/16 scale. Talked my dad into it, and he's like, ah, yes, you know, we got it. And it's just, and I found that kit at a hobby shop a while back, and I bought that, and I was just so excited to see it. You know, my wife and I were there, and she's like, you want it, get it, you know. And I could tell that look on her face, like, you know, whatever. But she didn't know the backstory to it. It's like, I had that kit when I was a kid. So that was another purchase that I bought it because it was something I had from back in the day. So a lot of these kits I buy is either something that my dad had or my brother did or something that I did years ago. I've been trying to like replenish that collection, you know, so to speak. So that's, I think a lot of those kits are here because of that or something like that. And just for me, even to go to get a kit today, if it's not on eBay, you know, the closest thing for me is to go to the mailbox off eBay. Other than that, I got to go to Saginaw, Michigan, which is about almost not quite middle. It's about 40 minutes from here, or Flint. Just don't drink the water, you know. Over that's probably about 45 minutes from me. Or we go to Great Lakes Hobby down in Sterling Heights, Michigan, and that's about an hour and a half, hour 40 one way for me. So wife and I will go down. We go down there quite a bit, and of course she's originally from Madison Heights, so once in a while we'll see family down there. We usually make a day out of it. You know, a lot of times it's just a random, hey, you want to go down to the city and go to the hobby shop? She'll, yeah, sure, why not? And then we'll get dinner or whatever, but it's a day deal to go down there. And like I say, I wanted to get that Mobius ramp truck. And so sometimes I will buy I know Jason and Matthew are talking about like just a random kit, buying a random kit. This would be a random buy for me. I went down to get that Mobius truck, the ramp truck, and they didn't have it. And I'm telling you guys, if you see a kit and you want it, you better buy it, because a lot of times you go back, it's not there. That's just the way it is. And sometimes you won't ever see it again. Next thing you know, it's on eBay. Now it's going for stupid money. And it's just one of those, if you see it, get it. And I thought, man, I should have got that Ram truck last. And I know there's a bunch of them out there yet. I'll get one eventually. It's not something I have to have. You know, I just thought, hey, well, I'll go down there, because I was getting some other things while I was there, some paints and whatnot. And I thought, if it's there, I'll pick it up. I'm not coming home empty-handed, making a trip. We're going to get some. So anyways, they didn't have it. So I picked up that, is it the Jolly Green Gasser, the Fairlane model. And my wife come over and she says, hey, what about this kit? And I thought, dang, that's pretty cool looking. That's how I ended up with the Baldwin Camaro. And that was just a kit she brought over. You know, I didn't buy it just because she brought it over to me. And it was just, I thought, the box art is what sold me. You know, some of these kits, the box art is just, that's why I buy some kits too, just because the box art. And I was a big muscle car fan back in the day, and I still am. And I like a lot of the little cars. Like some of you guys are saying in your videos, I mean, I can't afford some of those cars. There's no way. And so this is kind of cool. I can get a miniature version of it, build the way I want to build it, and go with that. So there's inspiration behind that. And just like like the T-Bird model, I had an 85 Turbo Coupe back in the day. I was a big NASCAR fan back in the 80s, back when I was a kid. And I remember watching the number 9 Coors T-Bird, Bill Elliott. You know, and I really didn't know the drivers that well. I mean, I didn't care. I just saw the car, I seen the body style, and I saw the design on it, and I thought, dude, that's so cool. That's what made me buy my Thunderbird when I got out of high school. I graduated in 91, so obviously I didn't have the money to buy a new car, so I bought the 85, which wasn't that old at the time. And so they don't make that kit, but they do make the 87 kit, which is pretty close, and that's still a pretty cool car. So that's why I got a bunch of those. It's just that memory of having it, and it's just a car I like. So that's how I get a lot of my kits. And sometimes some of the kits that I build up here are the ones I have. It's some of my inspiration comes from watching your channels. You know, I see a lot of you guys will do certain things, or you're building a kit, and I thought, dude, that's pretty cool. I'm going to go out and try that on my model, you know. And so it's inspirational watching a lot of you guys' channels out there, and all that kind of stuff. So I think the modeling community is really, really cool. You know, like I say, I'm in the model railroad as well, but it seems like the model car community is more like you know, got your back, man. You know, just the model railroads community is just as cool too, but it's just, it seems like the model car one's a little more tight knit. You know what I'm saying? Everybody just, hey man, we'll help you out. Everybody's very supportive. I think that's really cool. I think that's important. And but like I say, I really enjoy coming out here. I love building model kits. I like building model anything. It don't matter. To me, it's almost just therapeutic. You know, it's relaxing. I come out here, do my thing, turn the radio on, you know, spend an hour out here, 2 hours or whatever, and I really enjoy it. I just really like doing it. It's a getaway from the day to day, whatever, you know. I like it. But you know, there's always that time you're working on something and it don't go quite right or your way, and you're like, oh my goodness, and just it goes back in the box and you put it away. And I know a lot of you guys have that kit out there in your stash somewhere, or many of them, that are half-built models because something frustrated you, something wasn't going right, didn't fit well, the body's twisted, paint bad, whatever it was, it went back in the box. I have tons of them. You have tons of them. Everybody's got them. I know everybody does. That's the way it goes. But you know what? We're not saving babies. We're building models, you know, and that's a cool thing about model building. I don't have to finish it today. I don't have to finish it next week. It can sit in that box for years. I got kits that's been sitting in a box for years, and I know the paint's well cured by now, but it's just someday I'll get back on it. I don't know. So yeah. So hey, if you made it to the end of the video, hey, great. You know, just gonna kind of rambling on here at this point. So nothing script. I hope it all made sense. I kind of get going and just start mumbling things together. But yeah, so that's kind of my take on the model gig, you know, and why I do it and how I got into it and all that good stuff. So like I say, you know, Jason and Matthew, you know, very good subject. Like I say, I think guys could go on forever talking about it. So that's kind of my take on it. So I'll tell you what, I'm gonna wrap this video up. And you know, I appreciate everybody that has subscribed to the channel. I really do. I thank you for that, you guys. You guys really push me to do things I do. I like all the comments and everything. And I know I'm slow getting back on comments sometimes. Man, things are just busy, you know. I just think like, man, where's the time go? You know, just crazy. So once again, I appreciate you guys. I really do, and I thank you for tuning in. And if you're not a subscriber, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and you guys are in it and keep up with the videos or whatnot. So for that note, we will see you later, and you guys have a good one. So thanks again for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.